My name is Nick.
And I am Shaneskyz.
We're going to be talking about me rambling on and not
And other
enunciating.
irrelevant topics.
Anyway, we're going to be talking about things that we're excited about in the gaming community.
Say the first one.
Number
What do you
one
think?
that I have on my list is the game called Last of Us.
When does that release?
What's after May?
June?
June.
June. I thought it was June 3rd.
It's June something, but one thing that I have to mention is that Shane will not be able to play it because it's a PlayStation 3 exclusive.
In which I'll be going to his house to play it anyway.
Anyway, this is a zombie survival horror slash Uncharted slash amazing game. And at this point, we honestly don't know much about it, except that it's going to be great.
I just remember seeing the preview of it, and it didn't. I like the preview because I'm a fan of zombie games in general. I don't know who isn't. So that I honestly think the graphics are amazing, and I think it'll be the next really main zombie game that there is.
And it was made by the same people who made Uncharted, Naughty Dog. So
Which Nick knows a
plus.
lot about that, and I don't.
Uncharted is the best.
RPG.
It's not an RPG at all.
What is it?
It's a platformer. It's a 3D platformer, but anyway.
What? I see it as an RPG.
It is. There's no leveling up system. There's no upgrading system.
I'm talking about a role-playing game
Yeah.
where, storyline.
It's not an RPG. Let's not go with the RPG. It's a third-person shooter.
Alright, third-person shooter. Let's go with that.
I personally love the game. I think it's the best franchise of this generation.
Yeah, we'll just go with that.
Call of Duty's up there. It's not the best, but it's definitely what I've spent most of my time with.
To make this clear, Nick is a big Call of Duty fan, and I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. I play a lot of Battlefield.
Same thing, anyway.
It is the same thing. There's really no difference.
You know what? I just thought of something. The best. That is not the best franchise of this generation. BioShock.
Wait, say that again?
BioShock is the best
BioShock.
franchise of this
That,
generation.
you know what? I can agree with that.
He's never played a BioShock game.
I haven't played BioShock 1. I played a little bit of BioShock 2 in my spare time, and currently we're doing the BioShock Infinite series that
I'm doing it.
Nick is commentating, but I'm present in all the commentaries, so I'm seeing it, and after he finishes the game, I will know what happened, but I'll play it anyway.
And it's a very story-driven game, as I've mentioned many times in commentary. And
I encourage you to watch that, by the way. It's actually very good.
the ending is crazy.
Just don't watch it if you haven't played, or if you're planning on playing it. If you're not planning on playing it, you know what? Go ahead and watch it because it's almost like a movie,
And it has me in it.
and it has him in it.
First episode, I'm not really there that much.
He's just now getting used to commentating, so bear with him the first episode.
First episode, second episode, third episode, fourth, etc. is actually really good.
Because of BioShock.
Me.
Let's move on to the second topic.
Alright, what are
Okay.
you excited for?
Clearly, I'm excited for the Battlefield 4
There we go.
release, and the 17 minutes of fishing in Baku, I absolutely loved, and I could not stop watching it.
Now let me tell you why I think that it won't be the best game. And that is simply because it's a console, or it's a release title for the new consoles, and usually those are extremely buggy. They're getting used to new engines, new
Well, I want to point out that the Frostbite 3 engine that they're actually going to be using is just an improvement of the Frostbite 2. So they'll have at least DICE will have more experience in the Frostbite engine. And I
But
think they fixed the bugs out of Frostbite 2.
Battlefield 3 did have more bugs. I can't see Battlefield 4 having more bugs because of the hardware.
As a big fan of Battlefield 3 as my main first-person shooter, and pretty much the main thing I play as far as gaming, I can admit there is a lot of bugs, and I think that the Frostbite 2 engine was kind of a test to see what they could push the consoles to get to do.
It wasn't very much.
Which clearly was not very much, and there was a lot of bugs in it. But I'm okay with that, just because I feel like that was a learning process. I mean, I know that they had the patches every month, and really waiting a month for the patch probably wasn't the best idea. But the thing is...
But it costs money to patch. And you have to get it...
Which is true.
You have to get it administrated through Sony and Microsoft, which is a lot of work, and it costs money.
But I feel like DICE did try to make the best thing that they could out of the Frostbite 2 engine and out of what PS3 and 360 could actually take. Now, for Battlefield 4, they haven't really said what they plan to do with the current-gen consoles, because right now, as far as the game coming out on October 29th, the current-gen consoles will be having the beta on them, so people are going to be kind of curious to see what they will, what the beta will be and how it's going to work on current-gen consoles, because clearly the current-gen consoles are out of date, and the next-gen consoles don't come out until, when is it, early November?
Late October, early November. But what I think Battlefield 4 is going to be better on the current-gen consoles, because the issue that Battlefield 3 has was that it was infinitely times better on the PC, but what they didn't do is that they didn't make much sacrifices. They kind of just ported the game over and put less players in each lobby, and obviously graphical differences. But I think what they could have done was just cut the maps off a little bit, maybe 34 players instead of 12, and maybe a little bit more graphic-wise, because on the consoles, there's almost every single game that's came out on the current-gen consoles has looked graphical-wise better, and I think that could have easily been avoided if they could have just cut the maps out a little bit.
And let me say, Battlefield 3, they really messed up on the lighting. There is way too much of the skylight lighting. And
don't look at the sun.
Yeah, don't look at the sun or you're screwed. So if you're playing on the defensive side, you're pretty much screwed if you're outside.
And the light, the flashlight, which have gone through multiple patches, it's still frustrating.
The tactical light's description might as well be blind the crap out of you.
Portable sun.
Yes, portable sun on gun. But the thing is, I think Battlefield 4 will make a happy medium between the two. I know they'll down the graphics for the current-gen consoles,
which I'm okay with.
Yeah, I mean...
because it's going to be better than Battlefield 3, definitely.
It will be better than Battlefield 3. And I know that whatever improvements they make besides the graphical difference, it'll have less bugs and probably more content, obviously.
It's going to be running on a new engine, so we never know.
Well, but see, they never really announced whether this was a new engine or it was just since they could increase the power of the Frostbite 2 engine, they've never really said whether it was just given a name. Because I know that in the beginning, a few months ago, they were talking about how the Frostbite 2 engine for Battlefield 4, they were going to be using the Frostbite engine, and it was going to be, besides the 20% of the Frostbite 2 engine that they were using in the PS3 and 360, they're going to use 80% of it on the next-gen consoles and PC, which, obviously that's going to be 4 times more powerful than the what Battlefield 3 is. So really, I don't know whether the Frostbite 3 engine is actually just a given name to the upgraded Frostbite 2.
And I don't know if I'm going to be getting it or not. I probably will. The only thing that I have is I don't want to spend $60 on a game for a current-gen console that is going to be infinitely times better on the new consoles, so it depends.
And to point out I've already pre-ordered it on PC, and I will be playing on PC, and I will definitely, as soon the first day it comes out, I will be putting up any videos I have on it. So, but that's in the far future.
I don't know when I'm going to be getting it on, if I get it on. I'm assuming I'm going to be getting it, at least in general. But next thing that I am excited for is to see where the Bioshock series is going to go as far as the next-gen consoles. And this is going to be hard for me to talk about without talking about the ending, but I will say that they set it up for an infinite amount of games. Like, literally, they even said it towards the end of the game. And I'm not going to talk about the ending anymore, because
coming from someone who has not finished the game, I feel like if they do make more Bioshock series, I will definitely play them, because being a PC player, I have access to most of the games that aren't exclusive to console. So as far as this storyline game, if once I finish Bioshock Infinite, I really hope that sooner or later they will come out with another Bioshock.
Which they will.
Which Nick, who has finished the story,
is,
has knowledge on that.
If they could do anything with the Bioshock series, I mean, taking hand the figures, you could go anywhere with those. The guns, the weapons, the time frame that it's in.
Now, the fact that something that interests me about Bioshock Infinite is that the graphics are already very good on PC and console, and what I really am interested to know is how they're going to improve on the next-gen consoles as far as graphic-wise, and, you know, most of the lighting effects and stuff that they've already improved on really well. And I want to see an improved graphic, you know, just effects overall for that kind of game style, because obviously Bioshock has a really unique kind of game art going on. So,
especially the time zone, the music, and everything.
Oh yeah, actually, something that I know Nick is fond of, and I'm actually very fond of, is the soundtrack for Bioshock. So,
it's very nice.
What else is
There's
there?
many musical Easter eggs in Bioshock Infinite, I'd just like to say.
Like Columbia's Gayest Quartet. That's something in our previous videos.
And I'll point them out as they come, but there's actually a storyline behind the musical Easter eggs. It has to do with the story, but anyway, I'd like to say that before we go into our next topic, if we go into a next topic, that I just like to see what the world is going to be next in the next Bioshock, because the first two were underwater. This one is in the sky, and I can almost 95% guarantee that it's going to be a completely different world in the next one.
I would honestly, being someone who is really into the game art and the graphical design of games, I would like to see the Bioshock world go into more of a terrain, ground terrain, just because I really like the architecture and stuff of, you know, Bioshock in general. But to see maybe, you know, forestry and stuff like that, I think it would be pretty interesting on the Bioshock game engine, which, do you know what engine it runs on?
Unreal.
Okay, yeah, Unreal Engine 3, I'm pretty sure. As far as I know, it was 3, but... So, our next topic, which is something that me and Nick have been contemplating a lot, is where Battlefield or any FPS or first-person shooter is really going now with the next-gen consoles, and if Call of Duty and Bioshock, or not Bioshock, Battlefield
Bioshock still is a first-person shooter, but it's so unique that it's going to go.
It's not.
It can go forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, and they can change whatever they want. But anyway,
which is true, but mostly what I'm talking about is the arena-style first-person shooters, like Call of Duty and Battlefield 3.
shooters in general.
Yeah, where they're going, and what steps they're going to take to make these games newer and fresh in kind of the entertainment kind of style. What they're going to do to keep us interested in this.
I say either every single first-person shooter developer falls into the footsteps of Bioshock, which adding not just guns but superpowers or whatnot. But that's, you know, that's Bioshock's thing. So I really hope they don't do that. But
I would honestly think that, I mean, definitely Bioshock, I like their style, but honestly, for a first-person shooter, that has to do with what is supposed to be kind of like a modern, not modern, but time frame shooter, obviously they have some realistic aspects to it.
There's not much that hasn't been done.
Which is true.
But one point that I'd like to bring up is it seems like in every console generation there's a big type of genre that goes on. For instance, Super Nintendo, before PlayStation was even created, Xbox before that even existed, the whole big thing was 2D platformers like Mario, just on a flat world.
And I like to say that PS2 and the original Xbox, a lot of the games were not first-person shooters. They were more. They started stepping into the whole 3D kind of concept, but they weren't all first-person shooters, and that's not what we were really focused on. But then, PS3 and the 360 came out, and that's when, Halo started getting really big, and first-person shooters in general were becoming more popular, and that's when people, everyone started playing Call of Duty, everyone started playing Battlefield. It was just, that's where gaming went, and after everyone hopped on the bandwagon, it started being a universal thing that if you had a console, that you probably played one of the two games.
3 Halo.
And Halo. Alright guys, we're gonna have to wrap this up, and be sure to check out the next part, because the discussion continues.